Welcome to the Tech Tailgate Show on the Region Sports Network, presented by Tech Credit Union. I'm your host, Zach Miller, and with me we have our esteemed analyst, Mike Dewan. How we doing, Mike?
It's Friday. It's win or go home now. It is Week 10, as we mentioned, the Tech Tailgate Show. Zach, let's get it started.
Yep, this is Week 10. It's the opening round of the playoffs, the opening round of sectionals. Let's begin with the matchups. Starting off, we have the South Newton Rebels taking on the North Judson Blue Jays.
Yeah, Class 1A sectional, kind of going through that. North Judson, not too many dogs in the fight here in the region, but North Judson's definitely a team kind of in that area, the gray area we can call kind of out there, but they have been running through that sectional. If there is an odds-on favorite maybe for this group of 16 teams, got to go with North Judson, I should say, or 16 teams, 8 teams. I don't know why. It's already been a long Friday, as we could say. But nonetheless, North Judson, they have ran through so far this regular season, we could say, and they are an absolute wagon. Watch out for them. South Newton may have their hands full. North Judson's a team that has impressed us a lot so far.
They've been the team to look out for, and we expect to see them moving forward through the playoffs. Next up, we have the South Central Satellites taking on the Culver Cavaliers.
South Central, yeah, it's South Central, a team that has since moved from the GSSC, so a team that has kind of fallen out of our range a little bit. Now, again, a new conference, but still a team we're going to root for. And Culver as well. Again, a lot of two-way players in this smaller school football. Again, it's moving forward. It's win or go home. A lot to play for in these games.
A lot to play for. And then we have the Bowman Academy Eagles taking on the North Newton Spartans.
Bowman, of course, a team still trying to find their footing. North Newton as well, kind of suffered some tough seasons as of late. Bowman, kind of more of that region team, going to take that long trip down, though, to I believe it's Morocco, Indiana. We've had some run-ins with North Newton back in Pop Warner and North Newton. A fun place to play. Always a pretty solid program over there. Again, the 1A level. It's important to have those building blocks for players. Two teams still trying to find those building blocks moving forward.
Yep, definitely building those building blocks. Then finishing up Sectional 41 for the Class 1A, we have the West Central Trojans of Francisville, Indiana, taking on the LaVille Lancers of Lakeville, Indiana.
Yeah, with 1A being, again, relatively, broad. There's a lot more bigger schools up here. It's kind of a matchup where, thank goodness you kind of looked at where those schools were, because truth be told, as the esteemed analyst, as you referred to me earlier, I could do a little bit more research on these teams. LaVille, I remember correctly, they sent Andrean home last year in the two-way, and again, a little bit of shake-up kind of throughout these sectionals. Some teams going up in class. We'll talk about, a region team moving up a little bit later. But LaVille, I think, one of those teams that moved down a class after beating Andrean. LaVille's a tough team as well. We talked about North Judson, how fun they are to watch, and how fantastic their regular season has been. LaVille, though, they have some talent, of course, and seeing what they did last year, who knows? They could do it again once. Now at the 1A level, kind of benefits them moving down a class.
One of a couple teams that we're looking at in that Class 1A sectional. Now moving on to the Class 2A sectional, Sectional 33, we'll start with the Bremen Lions taking on the Lake Station Eagles.
Lake Station, it's good to be at home, especially, again, in a game where there's a lot at stake when you have those seniors on the field. It could be your last high school football game. It could be your last football game ever to do it at home. And not saying this could be, but it's a thing of comfort to be at your home football fielding and bringing a team like Bremen. That's, again, they've played some teams here around the area. Always a team to, again, look out for. But being at home is nice. Lake Station, I know they have some young pieces moving forward as well, but they got to grow up quickly as well as all these other teams do now. It's win or go home.
Yep, excited to see if they rise to the occasion against this Bremen team. Now we have a matchup between two schools we are very familiar with here in the region. We have the Whiting Oilers facing the number 3 Andrean 59ers.
Yeah, Whiting, a first-year head coach over there, John Jolly. They've suffered some injuries as of late to kind of round out the season. They've shown some flashes throughout the course of the year, but it's kind of still been a rough season record-wise, the first year, again, of the John Jolly era. And now they're matched up against Andrean, who was ranked 3rd in our Enigenberg Home Improvement Top 10 presented by Enigenberg Exteriors. Andrean, they're peaking at the right time, and again, that schedule they have in the regular season tests them for moments like this. Again, as I mentioned before, they had an early exit in last year's sectional. They're hoping to kind of avenge that and go very far within the sectional. This is a pretty talented sectional, I could say. They might be the favorite moving forward. Got to take care of Whiting first. Whiting, again, in this position, you have a chance to play spoiler, especially going to Andrean. So that's always a great position to be in, but Andrean, 3rd ranked for a reason on our polls, and they are talented as they could be. Again, this is kind of one of those rosters you see moving forward at that two-way level. when you spend the whole regular season playing 4, 5, and 6A teams, especially some powerhouses, it only prepares you for times like this, and a lot to be excited for the 59ers.
Yep, we'll see if that strength of schedule they played earlier in the year will help them out later in the year.
Sure.
Then next up for 2A, we have potentially the best matchup of this opening round of sectionals, which will be live tonight here on the Region Sports Network. The number 4 Wheeler Bearcats take on the number 9 Boone Grove Wolves, Mike.
It's that's definitely one to look out for, to say the least. The top 10 matchup. Two teams that met prior within the season. I want to say it was 38-20 in favor of the Bearcats, who did travel to Boone Grove. Now they'll have to do it again. A game we're excited to have on the Region Sports Network. Again, thank you to everybody for allowing us to do this. Of course, the IHSAA, as well as, again, Boone Grove for letting us come out and, of course, accommodate us. But this is going to be an explosive game, 2 explosive offenses, 2 fun quarterbacks that we're super excited to watch. We saw a lot of Wheeler this year with Caleb Klimzak and getting the ball, of course, to his talented receivers like Tyne Vetical and Bryce Compton, as well as an absolute slashing run game in Jaden Ortiz. But Boone Grove is a team that could score points as well. Mark Rowland's one of the better quarterbacks in the area. They got a lot of two-way guys as well, a lot of guys that have been within this program, and this means a lot to them. Again, I remember talking with Coach Kukulski of Boone Grove in the summer, and again, it's an emotional year for these seniors. They've seen a lot. Obviously, this is the first full season with their football field, their new football fielding, and hosting a home playoff game. They did last year, but this one means special, again, being at your home base for the full season. And again, a lot of guys that have been starting since they were freshmen. I want to say Mark Rowland's one of those guys, a senior-led Boone Grove team. They don't want to go home early.
They don't want to go home. Big matchup. 2 top 10 ranked teams, conference rivals, opening round of sectionals. Live tonight here on the Region Sports Network. You'll be able to catch that along with other scores on our Strachan Vantil hometown scoreboard, which will be running all night. That is what we have for Class 2A Sectional 33. Now moving on to Class 3A Sectional 25, we start off with the match with the John Glenn Falcons taking on the Jimtown Jimmies, all-time name.
A great mascot nickname. 2 talented teams up there as well, and again, 3A a little bit broad as well in terms of kind of the range of teams we're going to be seeing throughout the tournament. John Glenn and Jimtown, again, a little bit outside of that typical area, but nonetheless, teams to look out for kind of in that top side of the bracket as you kind of go through these matchups. The first teams we mentioned, it's kind of how you see it on the IHSA, or on the brackets on the IHSAA side or whatever. We're going to start with kind of the top of the bracket and then kind of work our way down. Jimtown's going to be at home for this one. A team that, again, we're going to have to know their names kind of come later within this bracket, kind of in this top half of the bracket. Our only really region team, we could call it, is within our next matchup, and we're kind of maybe a little bit more focused on the bottom half, knowing kind of some of these name brands, but nonetheless, these are teams that we cannot take lightly moving forward.
Yep, moving on to this second part of the first half, we have the Calumet Warriors taking on the Mishawaka Marion Knights.
Yeah, it's a tough bus ride for Calumet. They've been playing some pretty good ball as of late, a much improvement of a regular season in this year of the Charles Salary era. A big win last week against Westside, a nail-biter from what we saw, I think 38-36. A nice momentum boost for these guys, but now they got to get on the bus, get ready to go play Mishawaka, which that's never an easy bus ride. Mishawaka too as well. Again, it's win or go home, and it's good for Mishawaka to be at home. Obviously, when you got to take a Calumet team coming all the way from Gary, it's not easy to do. Get out of school pretty, whether early or again that routine kind of breaks up now in sectional play when you got to get on a bus ride. It makes a world of difference when you could just walk out to your home field and get ready to go instead of getting on a bus ride for an hour and a half and try and play ball.
Exactly, difference between staying at home, not having to switch up your routine, or if you're Calumet, like you said, maybe even leaving before school officially ends, and you're just heading right out on the bus. Big difference.
Who knows? I mean, but Calumet's still a very talented roster. They got a lot of offensive firepower and some guys playing both ways as well. And Charles Salary, he'll get those guys juiced up for whatever's to come in front of them come tonight.
Yep. Looking into the bottom half of the 3A bracket, where we have 4 teams that we are more familiar with, starting with the Knox Redskins facing the River Forest Ingots.
Yeah, River Forest, a talented roster, a good coach over there as well, and Mark Hidalgo, but Knox, we know they could run the football from what I mentioned, from what I've heard. They got a talented running back over there, and of course a great coach on your sidelines that is very proven come the playoff time. One we're all familiar with, of course, Russ Radke, who has just about won wherever he has went and trying to really, again, keep that trend going in this first step of the sectionals. But again, do not take River Forest lightly. Again, for Knox, they have to get on that bus and travel to, a little bit of unfamiliar territory, we could call it. Again, they've played some region teams up up here now and then, but this is, again, it's not easy to do. And again, you got to get ready quick because River Forest, they got a lot of two-way dogs over there as well. A pretty stifling defense. They got, I want to say, one of the leading tacklers in the area in Michael Turner, as well as, again, Aiden Silver, a two-way player, but electrifying at quarterback. Definitely one we're excited for because, again, looking at future matchups as well, there's a lot of storylines in that, but you got to get through this first, and River Forest as well. They could be seen as the dog in this one, but, I mean, anything is possible, and I think, again, Knox has shown that they're vulnerable. They've lost a few games in the past. They were highly regarded within the state polls, and they've dropped a few games, a little bit of head-scratchers, and River Forest, they're going to take that into account, but then, again, records do not matter. You just got to get ready to play football, and anything could happen, as we mentioned.
Just how Coach Radke's going to have his team ready to play, Coach Hidalgo's going to have his team ready to play just as well. It's a matchup between two great coaches. We're excited to see that one. And on the other end of that, on the other end of this bottom half of the bracket, we have the Bishop Knoll Warriors facing our number 7 Griffith Panthers.
Yeah, Bishop Knoll is, a program trying to find those building blocks, as I previously mentioned. They've done some great things this year, but that might be a pretty angry group of Panthers they're going to have to visit tonight at the Boneyard. Griffith fell to the 7th spot in the home improvement top 10. Again, a team that was high as 3, but a head-scratching loss to Wheeler last week kind of dropped them in our polls. They've shown that they are vulnerable, and it might be a good thing, kind of alluded to within that home improvement top 10 article. Yes, of course, you want the undefeated season. Yes, you want the conference trophy, but they've gotten punched in the mouth, and now they're going to be, again, they need to respond, and these guys, of course, we see last year their record, it was not as what they probably wanted it to be, and they know how to bounce back, but now, again, confidence was sky high, kind of brought them back down to earth. Now they got to regroup, get ready for the sectional time, and again, records do not matter. Again, you had a great regular season, still 8-1, a lot to phone home about, but now you got to get ready for Bishop Knoll, and I get they're not going to take them lightly, although, again, they might be seen as the favorites in this one. Griffith, they're not looking ahead. They're hoping to get a good 48 minutes of football and move on to round 2.
Yep, and we'd be remiss not to mention, to conclude 3A, saying if Knox were to win and if Griffith were to win at the bottom half of this bracket, that would be a Coach Radke-led Knox Redskins facing the Griffith Panthers in the Boneyard next week if they were to both win. Yeah, that would be a big-time matchup.
That would be fun, to say the absolute least. Of course, the storylines, as you kind of alluded to earlier. But again, you got to get through your opponent first. And again, we could talk about ifs and buts as much as we want in sectional play, but you have to do the job first. And again, River Forest and Bishop Knoll, we're definitely not counting you out. They're going to give you all you got. And again, especially that River Forest Knox game, I expect that one to be a little bit surprising and potentially close, and could go either way.
Got to play the games tonight first to start thinking about next week. Moving on to Class 4A, Sectional 17, our first matchup we're looking at is a number 5 Hanover Central Wolves facing the East Chicago Central Cardinals.
The team I alluded to earlier, moving up in class size, Hanover Central is that team. Their first game in the 4A sectional. They have playing the East Chicago team, finding those building blocks. A game that Hanover Central is looking to continue their good play of football. Again, 2 weeks ago, that tough 3-0 loss to Andrean, but they showed us a lot last week against Hammond Central playing that 5A squad. Now they're hoping to start their 4A journey on the right note over there at East Chicago Central.
Yep, a lot of 4A teams here that we're familiar with in the area. Next up, we have an NCC matchup between the Highland Trojans and the Kankakee Valley Cougars.
Okay, yeah, this is a game that was played, I think, a few weeks ago. KV has started to pick up the pieces and start playing great football at the right time. I want to say they're on a 2-game streak. It's been an interesting year for Kankakee Valley, getting a 2-0 start, and I want to say they dropped their next 5, and then they won their last 2.
Yep.
So that's kind of what you need. Again, going, of course, that 5-game streak in the middle of the season, it's not what you want. But again, hey, when you're playing good ball at the right time and you get a favorable matchup against a Highland team that is trying to build their culture, trying to find those building blocks, you'll take it. And again, being at home as well, that sure helps things up. Again, KV, not an easy drive as well. If they're at home, that's not easy for teams to kind of come in and again, play that Cougar team that could run the football, and again, led by a proven head coach, especially in the postseason in Kirk Kennedy.
Yep, all the talk about what happens in the regular season, it can really be mute because, as you said, the records don't really matter as much. They don't matter at all, frankly, when you get to the playoffs. It's really about how you play in the playoffs. That's all that matters.
Yeah, what can you do for me now? And again, of course, the teams that are relatively healthy as well. You have to you have to, again, of course, have the players to make those plays. And it's interesting to see, again, we're only going to talk about 4 sectionals today, but those 5 and 6A sectionals, they're off this week. Smaller sectionals, that's a smaller class size in terms of how many teams are within those class sizes, so they get this week off. So, again, we're highlighting, of course, the 1 through 4A sectionals, but good thing to note for those 5 and 6As as well. Come next week, guys, getting ready. Those banged-up teams could, again, use this week to recover. With some of these, again, smaller schools now, we could call 4A small, whatever, at least comparison to 5 and 6, but they got to get ready to go. Hopefully, again, they toughen up and they get ready for it because, again, it's win or go home. They might have used last week to maybe sit out if you have a lingering injury, but now it's time to play some ball, and again, it is win or go home. We keep mentioning it, but it's true. And again, especially for these seniors, this is an important time for them because they don't want their career to end.
They do not want it to end at all. Next up, we have the Battle of the Cougars. Gary Westside Cougars going to New Prairie.
Westside, I want to say that they have a winning record this year. Again, a little bit of a roller coaster as well. Again, had some high highs and some low lows. Again, coming off of a tough loss to Calumet last week, a rival. If that, now they got to get on a bus and play New Prairie, who won this section. I want to say these previous 2 seasons. Still a talented team over there. Not an easy start for Westside. New Prairie, a team we definitely got to look out for going forward, especially for those guys deep in the region. Of course, New Prairie is still a team that we like to talk about because they're good. They, of course, they're talented. They've ran the sectional a lot. And Westside, it's going to be, you got to try and limit possessions. We know they could run the football. You got to limit mistakes for any team, but especially against a team as talented as New Prairie.
Definitely, you got to limit those mistakes. Finishing up in the sectional 17 for Class 4A, we have our other matchup tonight on the Region Sports Network. The number 10 Hobart Brickies going to face the Lowell Red Devils. 2
programs that are very hungry for a sectional championship. I want to say, although it's been, I think, less than 5 years since both of these teams respectively won a sectional, that's a little bit too long when you ask those fans. They are as faithful as they come, and we're excited to have that game on the Region Sports Network coming to you live from the Inferno here very, very shortly. But this is a game, again, 2 teams that are very hungry, 2 teams that recently played each other as well. Again, we kind of see this. We'll see this a little bit in the 4A sectional as well as kind of the 5A sectionals come next week. There are a lot of teams that have played each other not too long ago, and this is something you got to put aside because it is, of course, you could look at previous results. We saw Hobart kind of beat the brakes off of Lowell a few weeks ago at the Inferno. None of that really matters now. It's a tough thing to do in sports is beat a team twice, and Lowell is not going to take that lightly. They're hoping to kind of maybe change their game plan, change how things went a few weeks ago, and respond well against Hobart. And I'd imagine Hobart, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Again, they're of course, they won the NCC. They're one of 3 teams with that NCC championship and a big win against Highland last week. But again, everybody's 0-0. We keep saying the cliche, but again, it's true. And again, the Inferno, a tough place to play, especially in these late October weeks and coming into November.
Adjustments and counter adjustments are the name of the game in rematches, especially when that said rematch happens in the playoff among conference teams. That's all the games that we're doing. That will be on the Strachan Van Til hometown scoreboard for all the games that we don't have that we will be broadcasting tonight. Mike, that is the games for Week 10. Any final thoughts before we kick it off here?
Yeah, I mean, it's been quite the ride so far. Already 10 weeks in, and this is kind of when, hopefully we all kind of not taking this for granted so far because it's really flown by quickly, but it definitely hits you now when it's this could very well be the last game for half these teams in these respective classes. It flies by so quick, and again, cherish this, whether you walk out victorious, whether you walk out maybe on the other side. It's been a fun ride for all of us, and again, it's dwindling down very quickly. So whether maybe you're a 5 or 6A team kind of watching at home, or maybe somebody tuning in with the game happening up here very shortly, whether that's a parent or who knows, somebody kind of coming in from wherever across the globe or whatever, we're happy to be that outlet. But again, take it all in. It flies by quickly, especially after kind of tonight happens. It goes, oh, okay, we look at the list. This team's out. This team. I mean, it's just like that. It's the way sports goes, and just cherish it all. Cherish it all.
Yep, cuts the field in half. Thank you all for watching. This will be looped a couple times before the game, so right up until kickoff, we'll be running this a couple times. So if you're hearing this right now, we're going to play some advertisements, and we'll be playing again up until kickoff. This has been the Tech Tailgate Show on the Region Sports Network, presented by Tech Credit Union. We'd like to thank our esteemed producer, Zach Zanelli, behind the laptop here, getting us sounding right, looking good, as hard as that can be. I'm your host, Zach Miller. There's your analyst, Mike Dewan. Thank you all for watching. This has been the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
When life keeps you busy and you can't get to the store, shop online with Strachan Van Til To Go. Our to-go service is easy to use. Register using your rewards account information, fill your virtual cart, and choose delivery or pickup. Once your order is in, our own Strachan Van Til team preps your order with care. With our to-go service, you can earn reward points and save time and money with our online coupons and weekly ad prices. Life made simple, shopping made easy. For more information or to sign up, visit shop.strachanvantil.com.
Hi, I'm Crowd Company's Lantern Man. For years, I've helped your family and friends save on their car insurance. And now I've returned to rescue you from high prices. Whether you have a perfect driving record or a not-so-perfect record. Follow me to the Crowd Agency for immediate and affordable coverage. I'm your insurance superhero. Crowd Company's insurance professionals. Highland, Merrillville, and Michigan City.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Old Man Winter is just around the corner, and that means temperatures will soon begin to drop. And a region winter is not the time to be left out in the cold. The professionals at Economy Electric Heating and Cooling can tune up that old furnace or install a new unit that can last for years. Your family deserves to stay comfortable this winter, and with 24/7 emergency service, comfort is just a phone call away. Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, 219-923-4441. Or for more info, the website is forajobdoneright.com.
Tech Checking Plus from Tech Credit Union offers everything you'd expect from a checking account. Plus, you'll earn one of their best dividend rates for maintaining a higher account balance. Currently, 4.85% annual percentage yield. No need to choose between easy access to funds or earning a better dividend. Tech Checking Plus gives you both. Visit techcu.org, contact any branch, or call 800-276-8324 to learn more. Tech Credit Union is federally insured by the NCUA. Rates may change without notice.
Quintel Incorporated is a family-owned and operated company located in Northwest Indiana that specializes in the reconditioning, repair, and remanufacturing of heat exchangers. Since 1994, Quintel has been handling jobs of all sizes throughout the country. Equipped with the most modern technology and advanced tools, Quintel provides top-notch service. When you trust Quintel for all your needs, you'll get peace of mind and a finished job that exceeds your expectations. For more info about Quintel and the services they provide, visit quintel-inc.com.
If you work with industrial, pneumatics, or hydraulics, and you're in need of maintenance or repair, you need the right connection. For over 20 years, Hose Connections in Hammond has been the premier leader in the hydraulics industry. Hose Connections is a one-stop shop for sales and service of pneumatics and hydraulics. Hose Connections continues to grow their network of industry contacts, which allows them to meet even your toughest expectations. To learn more, visit HoseConnectionsInc.com. Hose Connections in Hammond. Proven under pressure.
Have you checked out Centier Bank's student checking account? This no-fee checking account is perfect for students and teens ages 14 to 24 and comes with all the features you need to succeed, such as a debit card, digital banking, and automatic deposit. Centier Bank can help you start establishing good spending habits today for your better tomorrow. For more information, visit Centier.com/student-checking or visit your local branch. If you are under the age of 18, your parent or guardian must also sign on the Centier student checking account. At the age of 25, your account will automatically convert to the Centier checking account. You must deposit $25 to open this account. This account is not eligible for overdraft advantage. Member FDIC.
Four Seasons Mechanical proudly serves Northwest Indiana, providing quality, reasonably priced, reliable service. With a quality and comfort guarantee, the professionals at Four Seasons Mechanical offer a wide range of services in heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Whether it's residential or commercial, Four Seasons Mechanical is there 24/7. To find out more, the website is fourseasonsmechanical.com or give them a call at 219-756-7020. Four Seasons Mechanical, your indoor air quality specialists.
Earn while you learn from the best hands in the business. The Bricklayers Allied Craft Workers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. That's right, this is a paid apprenticeship.
I'm getting an education while learning a trade and getting paid for it.
The thing that surprised me the most about this apprenticeship program is the respect I have received after the proper time and training.
Classes start soon, so apply now. There are training throughout Indiana and Kentucky. We are the Bricklayers and Allied Craft Workers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. The best hands in the business.
Flip the switch, a light turns on. Press the button, machines and instruments come to life. Touch the screen, communicate with the world. Simple tasks, guaranteed results, every second of every day. That's the power of power. And that's the power brought to you by the NECA contractors and electrical workers of Local 531.
We love home internet from T-Mobile. Oh, now Mesh boosts Wi-Fi all over your home. Take a class in your attic, that dead spot is gone. Stream ballet in your man cave, learn to paint on your lawn.
He's glorious.
And now on the road, you can take T-Mobile Wi-Fi with you. Hey, stay connected and watch what you'll do.
Better Beef of Indiana. Hormone-free, locally raised, and locally processed beef. Better Beef of Indiana is located in Valpo at 2600 Beach Street, where you could buy individual cuts of beef completely raised in Hebron. From single pounds of ground beef to filet mignon, Better Beef of Indiana has it all. Visit their website at betterbeefindiana.com. Follow them on Facebook or call the owner, Kevin, directly at 219-508-5797. Better Beef of Indiana, where quality meets value.
Blythe's Team Sports in Valparaiso is a leader in athletics apparel and equipment sales. With in-house production including screen printing, trophies, embroidery, and more, Blythe's can help you to create the perfect look. For more information, visit them online at teamblythes.com. Blythe's Team Sports in Valparaiso, where the athletes shop.
Some see a student athlete working hard in the weight room. We see a future leader learning there are no shortcuts to success. Some see a start to a swim meet. We see the starting blocks for life. Proud to keep education in front of athletics since 1903.